Namaskar. Today we'll discuss about population interaction. That is, individuals present in in this world, the organisms present in this world, how they interact, what are the basic different types of interaction, how they actually work, or when they are living, how they get benefit from other organisms. Sometimes some organisms existence dependent upon other organisms in some cases. That is, one organism if will disappear, then another will also be disappeared in such condition. So this is most vital interactions. uh, Several types of interaction, if we classify the what are the different types of interaction, we can see that there are these are the some classifications. Some interactions present between the organisms are beneficial interactions, for either both of them are beneficial, both of them are benefited. Sometimes one individual is indifferent, that is not benefited, neither uh, not benefited neither harmed, and other is benefited. Sometimes one is harmed and another is benefited. Sometimes both are benefited. So these are the different categories we will discuss here. Here the first interaction is parasitism. Here the parasitism interaction occurs between parasites and hosts. We know that parasite, the most common example of parasite is leeches. We know that the flatworms, these are the parasites. So in the parasite interaction, parasite host interaction, hosts always harmed and parasites get benefit. So here the parasite host interaction, parasite will always be benefited and host will always be harmed. So what are the criteria? Two living organisms of different species, parasite, if parasitic interaction is there, host parasite interaction, two different species will be there. That is, within the same species, parasitism is not possible. So two different species should be there. Parasite should be living on the body of either whole or part of their life cycle. That is, a parasite when present inside or outside the body, uh, either his total life cycle or in a part, some part of the, sometimes we know that a sexual life cycle present inside one host and asexual life cycle is present in another host. So in that way the mosquito is another parasite, insect parasites. So this is a parasitic interaction, host parasite interaction. Now there is the second one, is competition. The second interaction is competition. Competition, we know that a competition term is very familiar. We are very familiar with competition term, where we know that a competition present in exams, competition present in run, competition present in everywhere. In case of service sectors, in case of daily life, competition is there. That is, competition occur. Today, in case of human, competition occurs within the species. That is intra-specific competition. Competition may be of different type between the species or within the species, interspecific or intraspecific. So when competition occurs for a food, one tiger and one lion or one hyena compete for the same deer or same rabbit, it is the interspecific competition for the same food. But when human being compete for the same job or same marks, this is called interspecific competition. So here the fighting between two or more organisms for the same resource, it is related to the resource as drinking water, resource may be the food or anything. Interspecific or interspecific type of competition is there. So in this, the competition, the term is competition is harmful for both. Here the organisms, if two organisms present in a competitive mode, then both will be harmed. So competition is not good. So in this competition, both organisms will harmed. Predation. Predators in a predation, that is, one will kill the other, will take the meat and flesh or anything. It's called predation. Predation, how? What is the predation? Predators kill other organisms called prey. So in this case, predator will be benefited and prey will be harmed. This is a very simple interaction. That is, herbivorous animals is a predator and prey is the herbs or the plants which the herbivorous animal take their food as a food. Insects and frogs, these are the herbivorous animals. However, tiger and deer is a predator prey interaction. So this is a very simple. Now the fourth term we will discuss is very confusing in exams. That is amensalism, commensalism, mutualism and protocooperation. These are the different types of interaction, very close interaction. These terms are very close. Now what is amensalism? Amensalism is a antibiosis. It is also called antibiosis. What is? In case of amensal interaction, one individual or one species or one group of organisms will release a chemical substance. That chemical substance is not favorable to the others, so that they escape in that area. As a result of escaping, the food and the area will be easily taken by that particular organism which released the chemical substance. So this is very important, that amensalism, antibiosis, here one organism inhibiting the other organism's effect. One organism release a chemical substance so that other organisms can't grow or other organisms escape. So this is called amensalism. In amensalism, one is benefited. That is, in amensals, one is unaffected and another is harmed. Why? One is unaffected, another is harmed. Here, the organism which released the chemical substances is unaffected, is not being benefited directly, and another organism which escape the area for the chemical substances are not able to grow is harmed. Many examples of their amensals. Here, the allochemics species example. Most common example, the term is allelopathy. Allelopathy is when allelopathy is the production of chemical substances, so that one organism produce the chemical substances so that other organism will not properly grow in that area or in that territory. This is called allelopathy. By secreting by the chemical substances, one organism secrete chemical substances, or another organism will not able to grow. Examples are convolvulus. Convolvulus inhibit the wheat germination. Wheat seed is not germinated if convolvulus is present. Convolvulus directly inhibit the wheat seed germination. Second example is there chlorella and Neisseria. Another example is there trichoderma, inhibit the germination of aspergillus, directly inhibit the aspergillus. Trichoderma inhibit aspergillus. What are the different examples? Here the ocimum, tulsi plant, where the ocimum sanctum, directly inhibit the growth of other plants. If tulsi plant is there, the other herbs will not grow in that particular area due to some chemical substances released by the ocimum. Sorghum, sunflower, barley, these are the soft plant. Sorghum, sunflower and barley, they inhibit. They also inhibit the weeds. If sorghum, we'll carefully notice that in a sorghum field, in sunflower field, in barley field, weeds are not growing due to the chemical substances released by this crop. So, and walnut plant release juglone chemical, juglone, so that juglone directly inhibit the apple tomato formation development. Apple and tomato plant is directly inhibited by juglone chemical. What is autopathy? Autopathy is a oak tree inhibit its own seed. That is, it is a one kind of amensals. Not the amensals is a peculiar example in amensalism. That oak plant not inhibit the other species, but it inhibits its own seed from germination in that territory, in that area. So it is a kind of amensal relationship is a peculiar type that is releasing chemical substances. Sometimes antibiotics effects are also caused amensals, because antibiotic chemical, some organisms release some antibiotic chemicals. That antibiotic chemicals uh, inhibit the other organisms to grow. However, commensalism is, what is commensalism? In case of commensal relationship, one is benefited and other is not harmed. In that case, one is not either harmed, indifferent, and other is that is which one release the chemical substances is indifferent, and who escaped the area was harmed in case of amensalism. But in commensalism, one is benefited and another is indifferent. What is here? No physical or physiological dependency there. In this case, commensal relationship, commensalism is there, that one organism is benefited, but other is indifferent. Most examples are there in pilot fish and shark. We know that in most discovery channels and videos, we know that when a shark is killing his prey, then lots of small particles of foods are there, and these pilot fish normally follow the shark, so that particular food particles they will take. So this is a pilot foods and shark interaction. Clone fish and sea anemone interaction. That in that case, pilot fish is benefited, but shark is indifferent. It's indifferent. Shark takes the major amount of food, and the rest amount of food are taken by the pilot fish. So shark is indifferent in that case. So this is a commensal relationship, where one is benefited, other is not affected or indifferent. What is that? Pierosphere and sea cucumber. These examples are very important for exams. Pierosphere and cucumber, sea cucumber. Polynox and Chitopteras. Suckerfish and shark. Jackal and hyenas. Jackal and hyenas follow the tigers, so that the remaining part of the their prey, after the killing of the prey, remaining parts they will take, and that is the sufficient for them. It is not harmful for the tiger. So this one is very important examples of commensals. Another commensal example is barnacles versus whale. This same kind of pilot fish and shark interaction. Sea anemone and hermit crab. This example is very much confusing in exams, and lots of exams. These examples are asked whether it is a commensal, amensal, mutualism, or protocooperation. It is actually present in a commensal relationship, because sea anemone and hermit crab. Sea anemone present on the surface of hermit crab move, so that sea anemone will take food. So it is kind of commensal interaction. Sometimes some authors treat it as a protocooperation and mutualism relationship. However, it is actually a commensal relationship present in hermit crab and sea anemone. Most important example here, the epiphytes and climbers. Epiphytes, we know that the epiphytes present on the surface of a large tree, and large tree is not affected, but epiphytes that are growing on a surface of a tree is getting food and sunlight from the upper surface, so that they are epiphytes actually by getting the help of the larger tree, they move themselves to the surface so that they get sunlight. So it is the most important example in case of plant interaction. In case of mutualism, the most interesting example, both organisms are benefited. This can mean mutualism. This is also known as symbiosis. But in this case, mutualism and protocooperation, the basic difference is that in case of mutualism, obligatory relationship is there. That is, both organisms should be, this relation should be obligatory, and this is obligatory relationship is called mutualism. But in case of protocooperation, it is kind of mutualism, but there is no obligatory relationship. Most important example is that fungus and alga. In a lichen, both fungus and alga are obligatory. That is, if fungus and alga will not be present together, lichen will not be formed. So to form a lichen, fungus and alga should be attached. Fungus will absorb the nutrient and minerals, and alga will synthesize the food. So this is the most obligatory relationship, and the mutualistic relationship. Rhizobium present in legume. If rhizobium bacteria not present in a root nodule inside the root nodule of the legumes, what will happen? nitrogen fixes will be severely hindered. So this is an obligatory relationship. It is not possible that if rhizobium present outside and fix the nitrogen for the plant. So obligatory relationships are most important. Rhizobium and legume, boletus and mycorrhizas. We know that the mycorrhizas is the interaction between fungus and a large plant. In that case, boletus, the fungus, interact with the large plant. This is obligatory relationship and both are getting benefited. And trichonympha and termites, coelenterate and algae in coral reef. We know that in a coral reef, coelenterate and algae present together and both are getting benefited. And insects during pollination, insects and plants, they are actually in obligatory relationship. Insects will take the honey and plant will be pollinated. Both interaction is totally dependent and obligatory. If any one is absent, the total function will be destroyed. That is, no formation of fruit will occur. However, no sexual reproduction will occur. Plant will not be developed, increase its number by forming seeds. And myrmecophily. Myrmecophily is the most important and interesting example. For in Africa, Acacia sphaerocephala. Acacia sphaerocephala is a plant, and some kind of ant are there. Ants. That particular ants are present on the surface of that particular plant, and this Acacia sphaerocephala release a honeydew like structure on its leaf tip, and that honeydew will is taken by the ants, and ants are present. Ants protect them. Ants protect them from the herbivores or from the other organisms which kill the plant, or which will take the immature fruits from the plants. So this is the most important example, and this is a close interaction with the mutualism. Another most important mutual example are there are so many interactions are there, and proto-cooperation. Proto-cooperation and mutualism is very close. In case of proto-cooperation, there is no obligatory relationship. If it is present, both will be. If both organisms are present together, both will be benefited. Example is here the arget and cattle. Arget and cattle. We normally see that the argets, that is the we know the argets are moving along with the cattle to take some for the leeches. Present in a mites and flies present on a surface of a cattle. So arget is getting benefited and cattle is also getting benefited from the such kind of mites and termites. So this is most important, arget cattle relationship. Rhino and Buphagus. This is also a kind of, we know that along with the rhino, so many kinds of birds are there. That's the Buphagus. They also take some parasites present on the surface of rhinos. And crocodile and bird. Crocodile bird are also important. Shrimps and fishes. Shrimp and fishes. You know, they take the parasites present on the surface of a fish. Shrimps take the parasites. So this is a non-obligatory relationship. But both, if when occur, both are benefited. So this is the proto-cooperation. So these are the relationships. This is the parasitism, competition, predation. These are harmful for others and benefited for others. But in this case, amensalism, commensalism, mutualism, and proto-cooperation, very close relationship and interesting, and they are very effective. So